YouTube, what is going on? Before I say any more, let me address the elephant in the room. You're probably thinking, Regan, why are you in the car recording this video? The reason being is because it's a lot cooler in here than it is in the office in the gym. So I'm in the car, I've got my AC on, I've got my laptop out, and we're going to dive straight into it. So I've got an upper body workout for you today. If you're wondering where I've been, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I suggest you follow me on Instagram. I've been on holiday, so a couple of weeks away from YouTube, a couple of weeks away from really filming longer form content, but I'm back with a full upper body day. It's in my gym in Sutton, so I'm going to run through it. I'm going to try and give you some value where I can, explain why I do things the way I do, and there might be a few bits in here that you can take away and kind of apply to your own training. So first movement on the list is a single arm lat pull down with a bench. I don't know what the full name is of this movement. You can kind of get the gist, right? It's a lat pull down, and the reason why I really love this machine is because of the bench stability that it can provide. You know, I am so stable here. There's nothing moving other than my arm, and it allows me to really focus on driving that elbow down into the pocket. When you're looking at training your lats, right, we need to focus on what the lat function is, and to keep it very simple and allow you to understand what I'm trying to say without delving into the science, you really want to prioritize driving the elbow down into the hip. So have the cable set up sort of in front of you and allow you to kind of pull down and back straight into that pocket. As you can see what I'm doing here. Other pointers and other tips here, lifting straps, I think that kind of goes without saying, but there may be someone that watches this that maybe doesn't have lifting straps. I would highly recommend you go and purchase some. They're cheap. They're probably the cheapest thing you could put in your gym bag. 5, 6, 7 quid on Amazon. They don't need to be anything fancy, and they will just stop your grip failing before your back does. So highly recommend. It's something that I border on being a non-negotiable. I think anyone that is really trying to bring their back up and improve their back musculature, I think you need straps. I think otherwise your grip will eventually end up failing before your back does. I've never seen anyone sort of move load over a long period of time and grow a serious amount of back musculature without using straps. But then we are into our first chest movement. Now, slightly different order here. What I'm doing is I'm taking priority of the equipment that I have, right? The gym was pretty busy at this time, so I thought while I'm on the cables, I'm gonna just dive into my chest work, which is a little bit back to front for me, but we are where we are. I usually get all my back stuff done, then straight into chest. So I've got 2 sets here for you. I would probably call this like an incline chest fly. It could border on sort of a press. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whatever the hell you call it, right? The main focus that I'm looking at here is driving the arm across the body, okay? You can see I'm really focusing on that stretch portion there, taking some time, even slightly pausing. I wouldn't say I'm intentionally pausing, but you know when it just feels good, I just take it. So I'm getting into that stretch, and then I'm focusing on trying to touch my biceps. That's what I want you to look at. I want you to almost forget about the hand placement, okay? Try and cue the biceps kind of driving up and across, okay? This will allow you to kind of really connect far better with that chest, okay? Because I think one of the main issues that people have when it comes to their chest training is that they allow their hands to really just focus on doing most of the work. And the reality is that is taken away from your ability to really contract your chest, okay? The amount of times that I see people kind of focusing on their hands, it almost turns into like a somewhat of a bicep curl, right? You've probably seen people doing it. If you don't do it yourself, well done, but it almost becomes like you're hugging the machine. So really allow them hands to kind of just stretch out. You can see I've kind of got a little bit of a bend in my elbow. Again, just trying to maximize that stretch, and then bang, I'm across, okay? You see I'm not using a lot of weight here, to be honest. I'm not using a lot of weight at all, and for me, this allows me to connect with my chest better. You know, I'm not trying to be the strongest in the gym. I highly recommend if your goal is physique development, you don't worry about being the strongest in the gym either. Just focus in on connection, okay? Muscular tension, mechanical tension, that's what you want to feel, okay? From there, again, I'm flipping my bench round. Remember, I'm trying to be smart with my training, okay? I know the gym is busy. I don't want to have to try to come back to get a bench to try and get a double cable stack, okay? You might be thinking, Regan, this is not following the order. It is and it isn't, okay? This isn't crazy for me. It's not like I'm putting a press first. That would be crazy, okay? For me, this is just utilizing what I have and getting some isolations out the way in a different order. Now, what you're seeing me do is a seated cable Y raise, or a lying cable Y raise, however you want to word it. I love this movement, man. I really am so passionate about this exercise. I think I don't do it enough, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I need to do it more, because the side delts after I get off this exercise are just shouting at me, screaming at me, hollering at me, help. And I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. Like, my arms are on fire. I'm being a little dramatic, but I'm trying to really exaggerate how good this exercise is, all right? Really have that bench on a nice incline, and keep the bench on the, keep your back on the bench, all right? Really try and isolate them delts and drive up and out. Please give this exercise a go if you haven't given it a go already. From there, I'm then into my other back exercise. Remember, it's an upper body day, so you have to be strict with your movements, okay? Two back movements only. We've got a pull down and a T-bar row / shrug, okay? You'll see I'm not really doing this like a normal T-bar row. You'll see in a minute once I stop showing off. What am I even doing? Like, I'm not even big. I can't even put my top back on. But my point is that I'm trying to focus on scapular stretching. So my chest and back day, I do my rowing, okay? On my upper body day, I want some form of shrug. And I don't know where I came across this exercise. I think I saw it online. But I connect really well with it. Like, my shrugs are absolutely on fire after this movement. You know, I'm really taking any lower back work out of here. You know, I'm so stable. Like, if you've done a T-bar row before, the stability that comes with a T-bar row is second to none. So all I'm really focusing on doing is just driving up and back with my traps. You can see it. I mean, I can't really explain it any better than what you can see, right? I'm really just trying to think up and back, okay? Keeping the arms somewhat straight. Don't allow any elbow bend. We want to try and limit any sort of bicep tension here, okay? If you haven't given that a go and you like your shrugs, give that a go. Obviously, you can't do as much weight, but again, we're not trying to be the strongest in the gym, right? So give it a go. From there, I'm then into probably the biggest movement of the workout here, okay? This is a incline dumbbell chest press, which you have seen me do on this channel before, and you've probably seen me do it on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. But again, in terms of pointers, bench height is quite important here. I go for a slightly higher bench because I have a little bit more of a natural arch in my lower back. I really try to poke my chest up, which obviously then kind of allows me to really just focus in on my chest. Having that natural arch, it really just allows me to kind of focus on the chest. You know, I see a lot of people have a lot of front delt activation and a lot of front delt domination when it comes to their pressing, and you can kind of tell with someone's physique, right? You know, there's a lot of physiques out there that are very front delt dominant, to the point where you probably don't even need to train a shoulder press. And that's because a lot of your chest pressing, you're using a fair amount of that front delt. Now, remember, we can't do a chest press without using the front delt. But what I'm trying to say is you want to try and limit the amount of front delt. So here you'll see me do, I can't actually even remember how many reps I've done here. But again, I'm kind of staying in my active range, trying to keep the elbow and the wrist joints stacked. Using wrist wraps here again. These are slightly different than the ones you saw earlier. These are kind of just to support the wrist a little bit more. This is the only exercise I use them on. I don't really use it on any chest press machine. I just think that added extra stability into the wrist can really make a difference when it comes to this exercise. And you need all the help you can get here, to be honest with you. And please, guys, when you're putting these weights down, there's no real need to throw them onto the floor, unless you are absolutely dead. But if you can lift them up, please, you can lift them down. You know, there's no need to just chuck them onto the floor, which you see more often than not. So after that, we're then into a little bit of fluff, is what I call it, biceps and triceps. So my bicep option here in my upper body day is a preacher curl. Absolutely love this exercise, love this machine. Well, I don't love it. I think it's incredibly tough and incredibly challenging. But for the biceps, it's tremendous. Now, what you're seeing here is something I spoke about on my Instagram, and you can hate me if you want, but I feel strongly about this. Guys, if you look on the right of your screen, you will see someone just standing there waiting to use this machine. Now, this fella meant no bad blood, right? He asked me how many sets I had left. I said I had one, and proceeded to just stand right next to me. Now, again, I don't want to go into detail because I spoke about it on my Instagram, and I just want to make the point, guys, you don't need to do this. You can just say, please give me a shout when you're done. Give me my space to finish my set. It's not necessarily about me. It's as someone who works in a gym and works with people who are anxious in the gym, this does not help people. Standing right next to them as they're working out is not productive. It's not helpful. So please be respectful of someone's personal space. Give them a yard. But anyway, pre-trip curls to finish us out. Both sets to failure. You see I do a drop set there. I like drop sets on my arm workouts. I think you can really drive a fair bit of blood flow into the arms in such a short space of time. And what you'll find is the arms will recover pretty quickly, okay? And then I am into my tricep extension. Again, only 2 arm movements, so pick wisely. This is probably one of my favorite tricep extension exercises, if not the favorite. And the reason being is because I just connect so well. You know, I've got some clients who prefer the rope. Me personally, I love the bar. Again, looking at focusing on keeping my shoulders nice and fixed and just allowing my elbow to really dictate the movement, okay? Again, taking a little bit of time at both ends of the range and also taking the last set, working set here to a drop set. All right, guys, as this clip comes out and is almost finished, I hope you found this helpful. Couple of tips in there, not a long video. I will try to get back to my regular uploading onto YouTube because I do enjoy the longer form content. It just takes a lot more work to get done, and I don't want no sympathy, but I am quite busy, so I do my best to keep it every 2 weeks. But I hope you found it useful. If you did, please drop me a like, drop me a subscribe if you made it all the way to the end. I appreciate you more than you think, and I shall catch you in the next one.